Hi everyone, Lewis here. I want to talk to you about a film that I saw today called 3,000 Years of Longing, which is the new George Miller film starring Tilda Swinton and Idris Elba. I saw the trailer for this a little while ago and I thought, that looks pretty cool. It looks kind of weird. Looks like my kind of thing. I like George Miller of, Mad Max, Babe 2 and Happy Feet fame. Presumably Happy Feet 2 as well. I'll have to check that. But, very varied and very visionary filmmaker, so I thought that's cool. It looks like some kind of weird stuff. I like both the people in it, the main people, and I thought it'd be cool. I'll check that out. I didn't get a chance to see it straight away as soon as it came out. It's been out for a few days now, 5 days I think, and I thought I'll check that out when I get time. So I went to an afternoon screening which wasn't busy at all, which is nice, and it was. I don't think I'd heard too much about it before I watched it. I think it was kind of. I'd heard some good things and some people wouldn't like it so much, so I was like, okay, I think this will be okay. I'm not expecting to be blown away by this, and I think it kind of was what I expected it to be. It's kind of hard to explain because it's quite odd, but not in the sense. I mean, it is odd sort of visually and thematically and stuff like that. But that's what I expected from the trailer. The trailer made it look more kind of wacky than it is, and kind of probably more comedic than it actually is, because it's not really a comedy or anything. I thought there might be some kind of wacky hijinks going on, but there's not, which is fine because that fits in with the film. But just narratively, it's a bit odd. It's quite hard to explain without giving too much context. I won't give any spoilers, but if you're not familiar with the trailer, it's essentially a woman who finds a genie, and it's more about the meaning of sort of stories and narrative and things like that, and how they kind of interplay and that kind of thing. And it's just kind of the majority of it, I'd say well over half of it, is Idris Elba's genie or djinn character, just kind of telling his own story and how he's been imprisoned by different people and why, and sort of the different times and periods he's lived in. And it's fairly interesting, and visually it's quite interesting as well. It's but then it gets to the point where it kind of catches back up with itself, so it's gone through the flashback stuff, which normally I'm not really a big fan of films that jump around too much, but this worked fine for me. It kind of gets to the point where it meets back in the present, and then I kind of was like, so what's going to happen now? Because most films, you kind of, even if they're not predictable, you kind of know where they're going. Like, character A and B has to get to here, or they have to achieve this, or this character has to have this realization and that kind of thing, and you can get a sense of where films are going. But this just kind of went, I just sort of thought, what's going to happen now? And it's not really anything massive that really happens, which is fine. Films don't have to really be anything. Like, a film can just be a film. And it was quite interesting because I've never really had that experience. I watched some weird arty films and stuff like that. This is a little bit arty, but not massively. It was just an odd thing because there were a few points where I thought, is the film going to end here? Is that what's going to happen? I don't really know how to feel about that. And it does have a resolution. It does have quite a nice sort of framing device where it kind of ends. And so towards sort of the last quarter of the film, I was kind of going, if this doesn't end in a satisfactory way, I'll just kind of feel like I've been on a journey and not really had a conclusion. So I think that would affect my opinion of the film overall, but I found it resolved itself nicely. So I kind of went, yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. I think it was pretty decent. I always like seeing films that are a bit different and a bit adventurous, whether it's story-wise or visually and that kind of thing, or both. And this is definitely like that. Even if they don't fully work for me or for other people, I always appreciate when someone takes a chance and makes something unique, rather than just something that's just okay. So I think this probably won't play too well with general audiences. I think if someone's just going to see a film and they kind of just pick this at random, unless you kind of know what to expect, I think it'll be one of them ones where people will leave going, what was that all about? And one of those ones where if it pops up on Netflix in a year or whatever, and people go, oh, Idris Elba, I'll watch that, and they'll kind of go, what is this? But I think if you're like me and you like films that are a bit odd and just a bit more experimental is probably a good way of putting it, and you just want kind of a fairly unique experience, then I think it's worth a watch. But yeah, it's just an interesting film, I think is the best way of putting it. I think I think if you're looking for something just to watch for entertainment value, then go see Idris Elba's other film, Beast, that's out. I mean, that's, you know, that's a bit more palatable for most people, I would think. But yeah, if you're looking for something a bit different, just give this a go. Don't go in expecting too much, but it's quite an interesting little journey to go on. But yeah, both the actors in it are great, but that goes without saying, doesn't it? So yeah, so I quite liked it. Most people probably won't, but I did. So yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching. I like movies.